All right, I'm still in the morning time. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Can y'all hear me good?
Yes.
Okay, you know what? Because I can talk a little bit. I'm a church boy, so we talk around here. All right, well, good morning and welcome to the official book signing and book reading. Are you guys excited to be here this morning?
Yes.
Come on, put your hands together. I'm excited to be here just to look at this beautiful panel, right, of authors. And I'm just excited to be in the presence, and I'm glad that you guys are here to celebrate with us as well. So give yourselves a round of applause as well. Yeah? So, of course, before we get started, we want to just make some acknowledgement. You know how you do in church, you got to get your announcements out, right? You got to give honor to where honor is due, right? Okay, so we want to make sure we give honor. We want to congratulate, of course, the seer of this project, the seer, the visionary, and that is none other than Miss Porschea Nicole. Put your hands together for her. Isn't she beautiful? Yes, indeed. Also, we have the publishing company, Agape Vision Publishing, or AVP. So if you plan on writing a book in the near future, okay, maybe reach out to the publishing company because they're doing some big things out here. Okay, so we want to honor the publishing company as well. And then we have 10 co-authors for this project. 10. Somebody shout 10. 10. Okay, 10. Now, I was born on October 10th. Okay, that's 10-10.
And 10-10.
Okay, so 10 is my number. And I really just realized this, and I was reading through some things, that it was 10 authors.
That's right.
Now, I'm not one to brag, folks, but I think the Lord did a good thing when He put me into that. 10-10. And so now we have 10 authors who have joined this project and have given their insight on this topic. Today's word is grief. Somebody say grief.
Grief.
Grief. It's a common language. It's something that we all, at some point in time, go through. It's something, a universal language, maybe you would say, right? That all of us, at one point in time, will encounter. The thing about grief is, oftentimes we don't even understand that we may be dealing with it, and we're just walking the earth, dealing with this plague, this thing that's on our back, and we don't even realize it. We wonder why we're being weighed down in life, and why things are going on in our lives and our relationships and our connections, and we don't realize that there is a root of grief that may be following us through life. And so I'm just so excited about this project because I believe that this is a life project. As we talk about grief and what we have lost, they have given their gifts, they've given their knowledge, their insight on life, on how to live beyond. Somebody shout, live beyond.
Live beyond.
Yeah, you have to learn how to live beyond the grief. And this project, this book that we're going to be discussing today, will go over those very things, how to live beyond. There's some tools, some nuggets in here that you can really take away from. The book is called Lineage of Grief. I got it right here. I got my copy. You better get yours. Okay, that's the name of the book, and this is what we're going to be discussing today. So before I go through, and before we get into the nitty-gritty of it all, y'all excited.
Right.
Look at y'all like on the edge of y'all seat. Y'all ready. Okay, before we get into that, we do want to bring up, that is the owners of Agape Vision Publishing, so that's Claras and Porschea Brown. Can we give them a hand as the owners? Okay, I came in at 1,000, so let me come down.
Well, I got to follow up behind Malcolm, so God dog, man. Thank you for doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you, Malcolm.
Well, good morning. It's already been said. Good afternoon. Hey, Shane. Yeah, man, listen. First of all, I want to say thank you guys all for coming today. What we decided to do when we started this company a little bit over a year ago, we wanted to give creators a safe space to be able to create without having major enterprises want to take and steal from you. And so my wife and I, when we ended up birthing this publishing company, myself with having almost 20 years in the music industry and herself being an accomplished writer, we said, okay, well, we husband and wife, together do us part. Let's create something that will be able to outlast us, so we can pass on to our children. Because we understand even how these record companies work and how these book companies work. The publishing is what pays. And so we want to be able to be a conduit for people to be able to create and to be able to understand the industry, but give people a really, really safe space. And so today I want to say that I celebrate these authors.
Yeah.
Give yourselves a round of applause. I got a chance to read all of your stories before it was even published, and I want to say that it's your testimony. And the word says we are delivered by the words of the testimony. And so what happens is that we have the testimony of grief. And grief doesn't have a shade, it doesn't have a weight, it doesn't have a size, it doesn't have a color, it doesn't have a degree, it doesn't have any of that. And so with these testimonies in grief, it's one of those things that allows us to touch everybody. Race, creed, color, religion, background is able to come together because we all got to share it. When grief picks you, it's just your turn. It really doesn't matter. And then the last thing I want to say is that my wife. I applaud you, love. I applaud you. Anytime I talk about my wife, I get really, really emotional. And I don't care, because if y'all see me cry, I'm a gangster. It is what it is. I really get emotional because, first of all, I'm privy to information that y'all will never see.
That's right. That's right.
Y'all don't see 16, 17-hour days. Her creating and writing. You don't see her up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and she's praying and she's up and she can't sleep. And y'all don't see those times in the morning when I got to end up praying for her and I'm praying to God, God, come in. She's not at peace. She has things that she has to overcome. She has to work. She has to create. Give her the capacity. Because when God puts a burden on this like grief on to your life to be able to help distribute throughout the world, to try to help bring people in and to try to help them, that's a heavy burden.
Yeah.
Grief is something that people live with. It's you don't even go through, you just live with it.
Yes.
You put it in a briefcase, you put it in a bag, and you just walk with it.
Yes.
And so God has burdened her with this particular gift. I'm gonna call it a gift. And you have done such a wonderful job in creating it. I can't wait till the next one comes out because she's already 5 steps ahead. If y'all know this woman, she's thought about 10 different books, and hers is in the making. Oh my God. When you read hers, it's something you're going to cry from beginning to end. That's what it's going to be. And the last thing I want to say is that because we are celebrating her, listen, the other part of the publishing company, the music, I am now up for my 3rd Grammy consideration. We'll celebrate a lot today. I've been nominated once. The 2nd consideration happened last year. This one, we're waiting. So I got a couple more days to see if it's going to happen. But hopefully, if it's God's will, whatever He's saying, I'm with it. But this is what we're celebrating here today. Thank you guys all for coming. I appreciate
Thank you guys once again. I don't want to be before you long because the time is well spent.
Yes.
My husband did an amazing job. He didn't give me an opportunity to brag on him. The Grammy was the first thing that I was going to say, but him being him, he decided to go ahead and say it anyway. But now y'all know he let the cat out of his own bag, and it's all good. Thank you, honey. I appreciate you. Listen, I was driving here yesterday to take a look at the space, pray in it, make sure that the atmosphere was conducive for whatever to take place was just gonna happen. And so I was driving on 75 and I was like, God, you know, what am I gonna say tomorrow? Do I say something about grief? You know, this is a grief anthology and this is what we are here to, you know, celebrate, if you will. You know, what do you want me to say? And so God didn't give me the words to say about grief. What He gave me was a snapshot of my own life. And so He took me back to a time. I was renting a house. I was staying out in Riverview in about 2019. And me, I am a big dreamer, and I love to see the new styles because I like to see what I'm gonna do next, what I'm gonna buy next, what it's gonna look like. And so I was driving around and I was looking at this particular builder that I love, and I found a floor plan that I was really in love with, but all of the houses in that community were sold out. And so they said, well, if you go over to Ruskin, we are building in that community as well. And you can go over there and you can have a look. And I said, okay, cool. I went over there and I drove around, but the floor plans was extremely different. Now, if anybody knows anything about Ruskin, years ago, it was really just trees. They were tearing trees down, and then they were starting to develop the houses. Nothing was there. And so where I went, it was maybe 3 houses on the street, and that was it. And so I went into the model home. I was like, the floor plan is disgusting. I hate it. Why did they send me over here? This is not what I was looking for. And fast forward 2 years later, God was dealing with me. He was telling me what community he wanted me to go to, what community he wanted me to buy in, all of these different things. He took me back to the same community, but I didn't know that was the same community, because by now the whole community is developed, houses are all everywhere, you know, it looks nice and everything, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. And just said, I hate it 2 years ago. Wow. I was like, okay, this is cool. And I ended up putting my contract in, signed for it, got my house, April the 1st in 2021, I moved into the house. Last night, my husband and I were going to dinner, and he was talking to me, and I was in my own head trying to figure out what I was still going to say. And he was like, honey, you remember when you were working at the bank, and your title was Assistant Vice President, or AVP, and it hit me. I said, okay, I was working at the particular bank that he was talking about 8 years ago. Wow. And I was an AVP. Wow. And now we have AVP, Agape Vision Publishing. Wow. And I never put the connections together. But God was showing me again the snapshot of my life. How you have to be very careful about where your feet tread. And where you go, you have to make it very intentional, because God is giving you snapshots of your life. He's giving you previews of what you're getting ready to walk into before you even do it. And I just had to stop for a moment and be like, God, you something else. Because the number 8 in the spiritual realm means new beginning. And so 8 years from when I was an AVP, I now own an AVP. Wow. So I wanted to say to my lovely authors that Joshua 1:3 says that everywhere that your feet tread, the land is yours. I will give it to you as I gave it to Moses. Right. So we are possessors. Right. And the land is right for us to just walk into it and to just take it and possess it, because it already belongs to you. So I don't want to preach. Thank you guys for coming. I want you guys to just lean into what my authors have to say, lean into their chapters. They really poured into this. You know, my husband already gave y'all a glimpse of what my days and nights look like, but I don't want to negate what their time looked like. I spent individual time with each and every one of them, developing their chapters. You know, some of us cried while we were going through those chapters. You know, grief is fresh for some of them, and then for the rest of them, we just walk around, you know, with it. You know, there's another scripture, help me out, honey, when God told a man to just take up your bed and walk. And so that's what we have to do with our grief. We just take it up and we just walk with it. So, God is good, y'all. And if I talk about him too long, we'll change the atmosphere. So, without further ado, I'm going to turn it back over to Malcolm. He's going to introduce our authors, and you guys just be a sponge, absorb what they have to say. We're going to open up the floor for you guys to be able to ask questions, ask all the questions that you want, talk about it. It's a safe space. We came here to be healed, we came here to be delivered, and we came here to be set free. Amen.
Y'all put y'all hands together.